ICD-10 JJ-10A, page 291, exercise 07, level 2.
Giant urticaria, initial encounter.
Giant urticaria, initial encounter. Okay, now we're going to count to 3 so you can pause the video and then give us the ICD-10 code for this problem. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, the answer is T78.3 XX, lowercase x, and A. Okay? You got that? If you got it, congratulations. Just go to the next video. If you didn't get it, let's give you a couple of tips. The first tip.
Giant urticaria is frequently caused by a reaction to medication. This is called adverse effect.
Adverse effect. Yeah, when you go into the tabular, you're going to find somewhere there adverse effect, and you're going to say, why? Why is this adverse effect? It's because giant urticaria is caused by medication, and it's an adverse effect, right? Okay, the second tip.
Level 2 difficulty. The instructions in the tabular tells you to use a 7th character.
Right, the instructions in tabular tell you to use a 7th character, right? But what's the problem?
Since the code only has 4 characters, we have to insert 2 placeholders, XX, for the 5th and 6th characters.
Right. The code so far that you have has only 4 characters. And they tell you use a 7th character. So how are you going to get to 7 if you only have 4? You have to put 2 placeholders. And the placeholders in ICD-10 are lowercase x. So you put XX. This way you can get to the 7th character, right? Okay, so now with these 2 tips, try to get the answer. The answer you're aiming for is T78.3 XXA. Okay, we're going to count to 3 for you to pause the video and then find the path. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're going to give you the whole summary of the problem. The problem is a giant urticaria, initial encounter, and you have to find the ICD-10 code for this. There's only one code, and the code 1 through the index is found like this.
First you go to index.
You go to the index.
Then you go to urticaria.
Go to urticaria.
Then you go to giant.
Giant, and you find what?
T78.3.
T78.3. Okay, so that's the code that you get, right? Now you're going to check this code with the tabular. So the code 1 through the tabular is found like this.
First you go to tabular.
Go to the tabular.
Then you go to T78.
T78, and that is what?
That is adverse effects.
Adverse effects. That's what we told you in the tips, that the giant urticaria is an adverse effect of medication, right? So we're in the right path. Keep going.
T78.3.
What's that?
Angioneurotic edema.
And the semicolon means the next line is what?
Giant urticaria.
Giant urticaria. Exactly what we wanted, right? But then in the instructions at the top, right, you have to leave the instructions at the top. It told you to use a 7-digit, right?
Right.
So what do?
First, we place the placeholder in this 5th character.
Right. For the 5th character, we place 1X, and then? Next
one, we place another placeholder.
Okay.
For the 6th character.
6th character. And that's why we have the code
T78.3 XXA.
Which is the initial encounter, right?
Yes.
That's why the A is for the initial encounter, right?
Right.
So that's why we have the equal sign there, which means this is our code. And the answer is T78.3 XXA. Okay? Thanks for watching, and please visit our website.